SUVs are quite a rage in the Indian market, and now all of them are available with an automatic gearbox. We are pitting them against each other to tell you which is the automatic compact SUV you should be buying. All these three cars are very well packaged, but yet they are actually hatchback on steroids. The design is very subjective. If you want something which is sporty looking, then you should opt for the EcoSport. If you want something which will appeal to the youth inside you, then you should opt for the Nexon. Meanwhile, the Brezza has a very neutral design. All these three cars get projector headlight with LEDs for their parking light. Meanwhile, the Nexon as well as the EcoSport also gets DRLs. Without doubt, the lights on the EcoSport look the best. The EcoSport does miss out on a dual tone color scheme, which is optional on the other cars here. All these three cars have very appealing interiors. The dashboard design is very nice. There's a lot of black which is used inside the cabin, which gives it a very sporty appeal. In terms of space, both the Nexon as well as the Vitara Brezza are very closely matched. But where the Brezza has a slight advantage is the fact that its cabin is wider, which means that three at the rear can sit comfortably. Meanwhile, the Nexon's front seats are the best here, and the EcoSport suffers because it doesn't have ample room at the rear. Some of the unique features in the Tata Nexon include a rear AC vent, a smart band which you can wear to your swimming session and still be able to unlock the car. Yes, it is waterproof, and the front doors also get umbrella holders. Meanwhile, the unique features in the Ford EcoSport include a sunroof which is there on the signature variant. It also gets cruise control which is there on the Brezza manual but has been removed from the automatic variant. Sadly, there isn't any unique feature in the Brezza, but yes, this car has almost everything you would need in a compact SUV. Now all these three cars don't compare with each other directly because the Nexon is the only vehicle here which gets both petrol as well as diesel options for the automatic. Meanwhile, the Brezza is only available with a diesel engine, whether it's manual or automatic, and the EcoSport is only available in petrol as far as automatic is concerned. So we're going to compare the Nexon petrol with the EcoSport petrol to tell you which is the better car, and you guessed it right. It is the EcoSport because it has the better gearbox here. It's not an AMT, so there is no lag between shifts. It's a traditional torque converter gearbox. It has very fluid shifts. The engine is extremely punchy. It doesn't bog down at all, and right from get-go, the EcoSport picks up pace very well. You also get paddle shifters, which are very nice and unique in the segment, which means you can manually take control of things, and this is actually a very fun car to drive because the engine feels very punchy throughout. Meanwhile, the Nexon's petrol engine, when paired to the AMT gearbox, shows its shortcomings. Firstly, there is a lot of lag lower down due to the turbocharging, and the bigger issue is on full throttle, the gearbox just doesn't respond. There is a lot of lag there as well. But the Nexon gets a first-in-segment multi-drive mode, which is City, Eco and Sport, and that's where it has an edge over the Vitara Brezza. Because when we compare the diesel Nexon with the diesel Vitara Brezza, both of them being AMTs, we realize one thing up front, that this one has more power, 110, this one has 90. This is 260 Newton meters of torque, this has 200 Newton meters of torque. So on paper, the Nexon is definitely having more punch, but sadly, the gearbox tuning isn't that great. It's way better on the Brezza. In fact, it's so good that it ends up masking the turbo lag, which is an inherent flaw with the 1.3 litre multi-jet diesel engine. So when you talk about engine performance and gearbox alone, the petrol EcoSport has a better gearbox than the petrol Nexon. And when you talk about the diesels, yet again the Nexon diesel AMT can't match the Vitara Brezza's AMT gearbox, which just offers better and more seamless shifts. Yes, both of these cars suffer from that hitting the wall effect when you try to go full throttle because there's a lot of lag between shifts. One good thing on the Vitara Brezza is when you get into manual mode, it will hold on to a gear and not upshift until and unless you do so, which actually makes sense because it's giving you complete manual control. When it comes to NVH, the diesel Nexon has better NVH than the diesel Vitara Brezza, and when you talk about petrol, it's the EcoSport which has better NVH than the petrol Nexon. In terms of efficiency, it's the Vitara Brezza which returns more mileage than the Nexon diesel, and in terms of petrol, it is the Nexon petrol which is more efficient than the petrol EcoSport automatic. However, Tata might have lost in terms of transmission, but where it takes a big lead is in terms of ride quality. The Nexon is just phenomenal when it comes to ride comfort. It absorbs almost everything in its stride. Meanwhile, the Brezza has a very stiff low-speed ride, and the EcoSport 2 isn't compliant, especially when you talk about this particular test vehicle which we have, which is equipped with 17-inch wheels. But due to the stiffness of both these cars over here, they offer much better high-speed stability. Somehow, wind noise and tire noise is better contained in the EcoSport, followed by the Brezza, and the Nexon comes in last. Between all these three cars here, it's the EcoSport which is the real fun to drive vehicle because the steering offers a lot of feel and feedback. Body roll is the best contained in the EcoSport, followed by the Brezza, and the Nexon comes in last. It is the heavier car over here, and that does bog it down through the corners. The brakes on the EcoSport are the best here, meanwhile the Nexon and the Brezza offer similar stopping power. Because the Ford EcoSport uses a torque converter gearbox, it also gets a lot more safety tech like a hill hold assist. It also gets traction control, both of which are missing on the other two cars here which are equipped with an AMT gearbox. The EcoSport also gets 6 airbags, meanwhile these get only dual airbags. Thus, the EcoSport is the safer car here. So which of these three automatics you should buy? Let's start with the petrol. There is absolutely no denying the fact that the EcoSport petrol automatic is much better than the Nexon petrol AMT. However, the price difference is just humongous. The Nexon offers much more value for the money, so if you're looking for a petrol automatic on a budget, it's the Nexon you should opt for. But if you have the budget, close your eyes, get the EcoSport petrol because it is just the better petrol automatic over here. Now coming to the diesels, it was very difficult to pick a winner because on paper the Nexon really excels, but out on the road the Vitara Brezza is a surprise because the AMT gearbox is better tuned and the overall driving dynamics, space, features and equipment and Maruti's reliability factor comes into play, making it the better vehicle over here. And there's not much to differentiate between the pricing of both these cars because they are more or less the same. And the winner of this shootout today is the Maruti Vitara Brezza. If you are planning to sell your old car first before buying any of these compact SUVs, you must consider Cars24. Visit any of their 50 branches and sell your car at the best price. Not only this, Cars24 will also instantly transfer the money in your bank account and take care of paperwork including RC transfer. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it the thumbs up button, that's the like button, and also subscribe to the MotorBeam channel. Meanwhile, I would personally pick the Ford EcoSport because I believe it offers the most driving thrill here.